Do is repeal the $30 billion costly medical device tax. It's a gross tax on these businesses. We've already lost 5,000 jobs and we'll lose 46,000 more.
We cannot have a tax that puts us at a competitive advantage. I think people understand that. This is about manufacturing, high-skilled jobs, millions of jobs in America, and I ask my colleagues to vote with Senator Hatch and me to repeal this tax.
Two senators, one Democrat, one Republican, they're talking about repealing something that was going to fund, at least in part, Obamacare.
So you've got all these problems. It's going to hit people, real people. And then you've got the insurance companies quietly telling people that premiums are going to go up substantially, up to, one company was saying as much as 116% for some consumers. So you've got, again, I think this is the reality of it is hitting, and I think it's going to be very problematic for the president's health care reform as it moves forward.
And Charles, with all of that in mind, how's it going to play out with 2014 midterm elections? That's going to happen in the same year as this is rolling out.
I think it's going to be a train wreck, and it really is going to be, as Nina indicates, not a theoretical argument, but a practical one. People are going to begin to see the real effects, and also sort of the sham way in which it was constructed. Chuck asks, where is the money going to come from if you don't tax the device makers? It'll come from taxes. This is going to be added on the deficit. They constructed a budget that made it look as if, as Obama had promised, it's not going to cost the Treasury a dime. Well, the CBO says it's going to cost $1.3 trillion over a decade. So there's an increase in $1.3 trillion plus a dime in taxes, so that it ends up looking like it's not going to cost. But there are going to be increases in taxes everywhere. This one will be canceled because it is ridiculous. This is the one area, medical devices, where the U.S. has a tremendous advantage in technology over the rest of the world. And why would you kill an industry that is so productive? So the money will be cut. It'll have to come out of taxes. It's going to add, so the $1.3 trillion will become 1.6. And it will climb, and ultimately people are going to see there's going to be a huge drag on the economy and on debt. And I think ultimately after it hits and you get a train wreck and all of the inefficiencies, people are going to say in a couple of years, why don't we adopt a Canadian system, cut out the middleman, and stop all the waste and simply have a simple system. Government's completely in control anyway, so let's have it done honestly and cleanly.
Issue of forcing these folks who are up for re-election the next time around.
Well, that's why, I mean, for the past 4 years, Republicans have been on the receiving end of cheap shots on the budget because only the Republicans had produced a budget. And now, because of, I think, pretty smart maneuvering on the part of the GOP in the House, the Senate has produced one, and that is beginning to make the senators, particularly the ones who were in red states and that Romney had carried, make votes that are going to be highly embarrassing and are going to hurt them, which is why Harry Reid had refused to actually propose one over the last 4 years. So now I think we're going to have a firing range, but the shots will be going in two directions, which I think is kind of nice.
The story that Doug McElway had tonight that's been out there on the internet, it's been all over the place, about the Department of Homeland Security making massive buys of ammunition. We got some facts tonight, Charles.
Yeah, and I think it should reassure those people who are watching us from now from a cave in the Rockies where they are provisioned for a year or two.
We might need them. You might want to stay friends with them.
Waiting for the Obama coup d'etat, which apparently is not going to come. Senator Coburn, who isn't exactly a liberal, has said, number one, the amount of ammunition is less than in previous years. Number two, it is about 1/10 of the ceiling that the DHS has allowed. And the last point is that the ammunition that people are saying is now in short supply is being used by the DHS for an obvious purpose. It is being used for the training of agents like the border security agents who have to go to the range a lot and stay sharp. So, I mean, everything on that pans out. And I hate to disappoint the conspiracy theorists. They're going to have to come up with something new, and they will.
Winners and losers of the week. Everybody wanted to hear this. Charles?
I agree the winner is the Prime Minister of Israel, but for slightly different reason. And that Obama essentially said to the Palestinian leadership, stop using the excuse of settlements. It's a way of you not to enter into negotiations, and you should. And in the end, the settlement issue will be decided and resolved if and when there is a peace agreement. So it's an irrelevancy. The losers are Russian gangsters, especially the ones who have stuffed a lot of their ill-gotten loot in banks in Cyprus. That they are going to take a real haircut one way or the other. And I have to say, it couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch of miscreants.
This has been a Sunfish production.